What's going on, everyone? SGA Collectibles back with another toy review video. In this one, I go over the new Star Wars Micro Squadrons Millenium Falcon. I couldn't believe I found this in the store because it eluded me since it's been released. But they're trickling out in the stores, so I stumbled upon it randomly at a Target on my hunts. I had the X-Wing and the Slave One I found in the stores, and I was just blown away by the details on them, especially the Slave One. But yeah, I loved all the old action fleet when I was a kid. Still love them today. The B-Wing is one of my personal favorites, and I really hope that they make that ship in this line as well, with the modern aesthetics. But it retails for $44.99. And I mean, it's really worth the price. It has lights and sounds, and the details are absolutely amazing, especially all the little play features. I mean, this thing is really like a scaled down version of like the vintage collection Falcon. Just everything about it that we'll get into, because I'm just blown away by it. So in the box, there's no zip ties or anything that holds it in there. These two things are you got to plug in, and along with the four figures that it comes with. But the radar dish does fit into the little peg hole, pops in and out easily. I thought that there was a peg or like a joint there, but there isn't. So it just swivels this way. And then the turret, whoops, sorry about that. We'll get to that in a minute. But the turret gun, it plugs in, and then it has full 360 rotation. It's really easy, and then it also can swivel on that axis as well. So as you just heard, you have your lights and sound feature. So first, you have this button on your left will power on the lights and sounds. You got that amazing blue light, which is kind of hard to see on camera, but it is a really nice blue color. And it doesn't just turn off. It stays on until you press the button again to turn it off. We'll turn it on again because there's another really cool feature that I stumbled upon because I didn't read the directions. So you want to swoosh the Falcon around like in the movie, you're going through the galaxy, do it. Because it will make the sounds as you swoosh this thing around. It'd be really cool if there was a third button that made like the light speed noise. But I am down with that. And then this center button has a turret going. And it's pretty much just that sound. And you turn it off again to get all the lights and sound off. So you come over to this side and you actually have, let's flip it over first. You have all the landing gears. So they really just, they're really kind of ingenious. So pop these up, those two go, that side goes, and this one's by itself. And then right here you have the entrance ramp to getting on the ship. And it just has a fingernail pull point where you can pull it down. And that leads to the cool play feature of this ship. So you have pull points here on each side, mainly backed by like the lights and sound area. Damn it. Pull up, and they pull up, and then you can take this off of there. So as we pull this off, you get to see this amazing interior of this ship. So we'll start from the ramp, and you can see as you go up onto the ship, a nice walkway. We can go down this corridor, and you can see the famous game table, and you've got the bench that goes all the way around. Focus that a little bit better. You got all this little storage details I would love to paint. We can move around this way, and we've got another nice, and just the grading on the floor. The details are absolutely stunning on this little tiny model. Go around this way, we got the entrance to the turret, a little hallway here, and then there's a little fingernail pinch point that you can actually pull this piece up off the ground, and Han can smuggle stuff, or you can hide in the floor from the stormtroopers, like in A New Hope. Really cool little feature that they added into this. Now we go back to the turret bay, and you have your opening here. And when you look inside, there is a chair in there. And when I first got this, I was like, how the hell are you supposed to, I mean, my big adult fingers, how am I going to get that in there? I mean, maybe a kid could. But they did something pretty ingenious for this toy. There's two little pegs here, little pinpoints. So this stays in here pretty tightly. But around, hidden by where the gun's at, there's a little cutout area. And when you bring it and you lock it in this spot right here, this whole thing will slide out like a canister. You can see the chair, and you can put your Luke or you can put your Han in there and set him back in the chair. There's no details inside that, just where it rotates. And it's actually kind of oiled, so it stays nice and smooth when it rotates. And you just pop it back in place, turn it, and it's locked back in place. Very smart, ingenious idea on their part. So that is pretty much the whole interior of the Falcon. You have the battery holding area right here. Screw, this pops up off there, and it takes 3 AAA batteries to power this thing. So the last spot that we have is the cockpit, and when you look here, there's kind of a doorway that they sculpted into it. It would be cool if it opened and this whole thing opened, but that's not what they did. They hid the hinge pretty well for this toy. It's a nice translucent front to it with some really good paint apps, but you pop this up and you've got the whole cockpit area where all 4 of your figures that come with the playset can sit, because there are 4 chairs up here and some really good details on the whole dashboard and everything to the ship. So you get Han, Chewie, Leia, and Obi-Wan with it. And I mean, you can take them out and we can move them over and set them on the bench like that. And then, yeah, so we'll take them all out, set them all there. So, like I said, you know, if I had little kid hands, you know, it'd be a lot easier to get these figures out. But, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty easy to get out of there. So, and we move them all to the game chair. So, there they all are. Really cool. And then we can get a better look at the cockpit area. Really amazing job that they did with this toy, man. This sold me alone that they did this. I mean, they could have just had one figure, but I mean, the figures are actually a little bit smaller than the original Action Fleet figures, which in like some cases, like I feel like the Slave One, like the original Action Fleet figures are more in scale with it than the new ones, but like this Millenium Falcon, the figures are really well in scale with. Yeah. This is an amazing toy. So, I mean, you can take the panel, and even with the figures inside, snap it back on, you know, close the cockpit back up, flip up all the landing gear, and then, yeah, we can turn this bad boy on. And then we can make this jump to light speed. So, I hope you all enjoyed this review. I definitely recommend this toy a lot. We'll bring in the X-Wing for scale. So here's the X-Wing. Really cool toy on its own. You can see it next to that. And the other one I have, the Slave One. Sorry, Boba Fett's starship. And I love this one because it has that rotation of the cockpit. Really cool feature. But yeah, I definitely recommend these new toys. I'm glad they brought this back. And yeah, I mean, you know, these are $16.99. I think this was $30. And then these starships are almost $50, which, you know, they're all reasonably priced, especially for everything, especially the Falcon does. I have no problem paying that for that. So, yeah, overall, really love this new take on the action fleets. So glad it's back. They fit pretty much in. I mean, these are a little smaller than the original ones, but it's still cool. And this is obviously bigger than the original Slave one. And I never had the Falcon, so I don't know how big that was compared to this. I think it was actually a bigger play set. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And as always, this is SGA Collectibles saying toys keep you young. And happy hunting out there, everyone. Take it easy.